Hey love, I'm Gena, a fitness, nutrition, and self-love coach, helping high-achieving women heal their relationship with food and their bodies so they can finally feel free, strong, and confident in their own skin. If you've ever felt stuck in the cycle of restriction, binging, and body shame, trust me, you are not alone. On this podcast, we're calling out diet culture BS, building your dream body without the obsession, and getting real about what it actually means to love yourself in a world that constantly tells you not to. I've been there. Anorexia, binge eating, body hate, you name it, I've lived it. And now I help women just like you find food freedom, feel sexy in their skin, and take their damn power back. So get ready, because the Fit Without Obsession podcast starts now. I get it. You're busting your ass in the gym 5, 6, maybe even 7 days a week. You end up dripping sweat. You're sore. You're checking all of the boxes to literally do what we've been told since we were a young kid. Move more, do more, work harder. And yet when you look in the mirror, you're stuck asking yourself, why does nothing look different? And it can be so fucking frustrating. I get it. You're like, why am I putting in all of this effort and nothing is happening? I feel like I'm doing all the right things. And first off, you're not crazy at all. You're not lazy. You're not missing some magical fat burning workout. There's not some genie out there that needs to grant your wish. You're working hard, but you're probably working hard in the wrong direction. And that's the key here, that it's not that you're not putting in the effort. We just need to really make sure that we are aligning the effort with you truly getting the results that you are searching for. You're simply following rules that just were never designed to actually work for you and your body, especially long term. So hard work, again, is not the problem for you. It's the misaligned effort. And today I'm going to show you the shifts that will finally make your effort pay off. In this episode, I'm going to give you the real reason that your results are not matching the effort that you're putting in, and how to shift into training smarter, not just harder, without giving up the body or life that you want. And I know that sounds like, a bumper sticker, work smarter, not harder, but it has so much truth to it. And I think when we stop brushing that off and we actually investigate what that looks like and we go into detail today, it's going to really help you find a new path forward and really stop staying stuck in this place where you're not seeing results in the gym. And I first want to go into why doing more in general is not working. There's this lie that we have been pre-exposed to from diet culture that the harder you push, the better the results you get. We have been sold this story that the harder you grind, the better your body is going to look. More workouts, more cardio, less food, less results, hustle harder. But truthfully, I want to give you a reality check that overtraining and underfueling actually equate to stalled results. They equate to hormonal chaos and burnout, which is not any of the things that you want to instill if you are trying to actually make progress in the gym and long-term progress. Your body is not a math equation. It's not some vending machine where you put in sweats and calories burned and you get abs and toned legs out on the other side. Yes, we on paper, scientifically, maybe we hear this phrase calories in versus calories out. That's the key, but we're human beings. We're not robots. So we're a lot more complex than that. And once we start to understand that and give truth to that, that's when you're going to actually start being able to change. You don't need to do more. Again, you need to do the right things. And the big kicker here is you have to do them consistently. It's not just doing them once, not twice. It's doing them again and again and again. That word consistency matters way more than we think. And you need to allow your body to respond from there. There was really, honestly, a season of my life where I was working out probably twice a day. I was going to dance rehearsals. I was running on caffeine. I remember I would have 4 cups of coffee a day, eating practically nothing. And it sounds wow, those, if you're listening to diet culture, you should have been fucking ripped. You should have felt great. And my body actually gave me hormonal chaos in return for that, burnout, weight gain, 0 results. I actually ended up weighing more at that time period than I do now, where I'm actually fueling myself consistently more than 2,000 calories a day, every single day, even on rest days, making sure I'm incorporating rest days into my life. And I have so much more energy too. And I know that like you're listening to this podcast episode because aesthetically, like you want to see that difference in the gym. But the cool thing is like when you follow these shifts that I'm going to provide with you today in this episode, like not only are you going to get that aesthetic version that you're aspiring to be, but also like you're going to feel better. And like that should really be the true sign of success. That should be the true thing that we really want to work towards, right? Like to feel good in our skin. I want to talk about the missing pieces that no one brings up. They don't talk about. And that is this nutrition kind of mismatch that we have in our heads. You really cannot out-train under eating, period. If you are eating like a bird and training like an athlete, like your body is not going to reward you for that. It's going to actually protect you. We've talked about this in previous podcast episodes that like when we don't eat enough, like our body wants to go in survival mode. But also like your muscles don't grow in the gym. They grow when you fuel and recover. And I think that we hear this phrase all the time of like abs are built in the kitchen. And like, yes, nutrition is a big, obviously part of like you getting results from the gym. And that's, again, not to say like eating the least amount as possible. It's actually eating more than you think because muscles need fuel to be able to grow. If not, they're going to shrink. You're going to be using that muscle to get your energy. Your body's going to break it down. But also a big keyword that I brought up is like, they grow when you fuel and recover. So I think that's a big missing piece for so many of us. Even people that have like made peace with food, like maybe you're healing your relationship with food, you're eating more, like you're working out, but like somehow for some reason, like you still feel stuck and you still feel tired. We actually grow those muscles outside of the gym. Like I know that you think it's when we're lifting, it's when we're doing the hip thrusts, it's when we're doing the dumbbell deadlifts, like whatever it is. But that's actually tearing down your muscle fibers. Then when we recover, we refuel, that's what builds them back up. So we need to stop thinking that like we're only going to get muscles if we're in the gym every single day of the week, because if we do that, then there is no day to recover. Results are not actually built in the gym. They're revealed by your recovery and the nutrition that you're giving yourself. Now, another thing that I want to go into is like strength training done wrong. And like, I want you to really ask yourself, like, are you in this boat? Because you might be strength training. You might be thinking like, okay, I'm in the gym. Like, I think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but like, I'm not seeing the results that I have been looking for. And I want to start off by giving you this idea that exhaustion is not the same thing as progress. Really, 100 burpees is not going to change your physique. Progressive overload, I'm sure you've heard this phrase, but I'm going to talk about it more here because it's that important. Like progressive overload is what's going to actually change your physique. Because progressive overload essentially means that we are continuously challenging our body, right? That is going to be what leads to change. Like if we are not changing what we're doing in the gym, maybe we're sweating, maybe we're burning a ton of calories, but if we're not actually pushing our strength, we're pushing our lifts, like of course our body is going to stay where it's at because there's no reason for it to have to adapt and change to the new stimulus we're giving it. And a big thing that I want you to understand is that sweat is not a marker of a good workout. It's strength. I feel like for a long time when I would do workouts and I wasn't sweating as much or I wasn't hitting as many calories, I'd be like, oh my God, that workout sucked. Like I failed, like I didn't do well. This is when I actually started like following like workout plans from other people that literally are like, personal trainers that know what the fuck they're doing. Like before I like became one. And I had this like preconceived notion that like sweat was like the marker of like me having a good workout. But once I actually trusted the process, once I leaned into that and leaned into maybe having workouts that didn't feel as fucking exhausting, they just felt kind of good and effective, like that's when I found results. And you might be also stuck right now in the all or nothing mindset. And we talked about this with food, but really it can also play into our fitness journey. And our body does not care how perfect you are for 1 week if you end up crashing and burning the next. Like that's just going to be confusing. It's not going to create a physique that your body can build, right? Because it takes time to build physiques. Like I know you see these things online where it's like lose 20 pounds in 10 days and I got these results and I got a 6-pack by doing the 6-week program. Like, yeah, maybe like in the perfect world, if you have never worked out, if you have never approached nutrition in a like positive way, like at first you might get quick results. I will say that. Like, especially, again, if you've never really set foot in a gym, like that's gonna happen. But if you're someone that has been working out, has been feeling yourself, is stuck in this place where your body doesn't trust you, it's gonna take time. And like, that's okay though. Like, I love the body I have now, but guess what? It took fucking years to get here, but I wouldn't change that, right? Like, I feel good because now I know that I am not gonna lose these results tomorrow too. That's a big key. I can like stay confident in these results. And the woman that you might admire online, in person, at the gym, wherever it is, like they are not white knuckling it through 7 days a week doing workouts. They're playing the long game. So they're looking at like, okay, what can I do this week that I also feel like I can show up and do next week, that I could do a month from now, that I could do a year from now. Like if you think like, okay, I'll just do 7-day workout weeks for the next 6 weeks and then I'll get my result and then I'll be done. Like, no, that's not how it works. You need to start thinking in a more sustainable way. Another thing that you might be stuck in right now is ignoring recovery and your nervous system. So we already talked a bit about recovery in general and taking rest days, but like also your nervous system has a big, huge role on the results that you're getting. I know that when we think of working out, we just think of like our muscular system, right? Where we're trying to build muscle mass. We don't really think about our nervous system underneath. You don't grow during your workouts, you grow during your rest, like I said. And if you never slow down, your body is never going to feel safe enough to let go of fat or actually build that muscle that you're looking for. Rest days are going to build that muscle, like I said. But here's a big thing too. Stress reduction actually fuels fat loss. Like, yes, we talk about what you eat when it comes to fat loss or like getting the body that you want. Yes, we talk about the workouts you're doing, but like honestly, like your sleep, your stress, like those are just as big of factors. And so much of us push it off and we say, oh, well, I'm busy. I can't worry about my stress. Like it just is what it is. I just got to keep pushing through. Guess what? You taking 5 to 10 minutes a day to do something that's going to relieve your stress instead of tacking on 5 to 10 more minutes at the gym every day, like that's actually going to be more effective. So we've talked about maybe some patterns that you're stuck in right now, and you might relate to a lot of what I'm saying, and you're like, okay, well, what now? What do I do now, Gena? Like, if I do want results, like, I understand I'm, like, doing these wrong things. Like, what are the right things? And I'm going to go into what we should be doing instead, and really, what I call the fit without obsession way. What I actually take my own personal one-on-one clients through, like, when they do come to me and we're trying to get them results in the gym without it feeling obsessive, without it feeling overwhelming. And the first one is fuel to perform. This is a big theme. You're going to keep hearing me say it. And sometimes you might hear me say this and you keep brushing it off if you listen to other podcast episodes, but it's that important. That's why I'm going to keep saying it, because it needs to click, right? Like this is a huge missing piece of the puzzle for you. And that is that we need to eat more, not less. And especially like protein and carbs. And notice I said and carbs, because I think there's so much talk out there of like the high protein diet, which is amazing. It's great. And I totally am on board with that, because most of us don't get enough protein unless we like specifically try to get extra protein in. And the protein is going to be what's going to actually help you build those muscles. So like, yes, all for the protein, but also carbs. Like so many of us are afraid of carbs, but like carbs are going to be what fuels your workouts and also your recovery. Like that's what you should be replenishing your body with after you work out, not just protein. Your dream body is not just built on salads and cardio. It's built on carbs and protein and enough food to actually support the work that you're doing. Second thing that we need to be doing instead, want to share, is that progressive strength training is something that we need to start following. And I already brought in this kind of concept of progressive overload, but we really do need to be training for strength and not for that exhaustion. So I want you to think like when it comes to this, that means like intentional progressive strength training 4 to 5 times a week, pushing yourself to get stronger, not smaller. Which leads me into my next point of what we need to be doing instead, is that quality over quantity is what matters. So 4 to 5 solid lifts is way fucking better than doing 7 days of random sweat sessions, because consistency is going to beat intensity every single time. 4 smart lifts trump 7 random sweat sessions. Literally, I cannot tell you how much my body changed once I actually started cutting out some of my workouts, because I was someone that was doing way too much, especially like for me, when I was doing my most workouts ever, like 6-7 days of workouts, I was also fucking teaching dance classes 5 days a week full time. Like I like 20 to 30 classes. Like it was crazy. And I was so exhausted. And I remember being so afraid of like, okay, well, if I rest more, if I don't feel this tired, like I'm not going to look good. but I actually look better, and I feel better. Again, that's a big thing here too. And I also, the next thing, want you to start balancing discipline with compassion, because consistency matters way more than the extremes. Your body does not need punishment. It needs partnership. So yes, it's really good to have a consistent workout routine. Like, I work out pretty much most mornings, like, Monday through Thursday. That's just kind of what works for me. I'm not saying you have to follow that pattern. Everyone has their own schedules, right? But most days I do wake up and even if my motivation is low, I'm going to go to the gym because I know it's going to help me feel good and I know it's going to help me feel my best. But also, there's that compassion part of okay, if I'm sick, if I'm tired, if I stayed up super late the night before, it's okay if I skip a workout every now and then. Again, consistency is what's going to matter. So if I miss one workout, that is not the end all be all. And once you have that approach, you're going to stop saying oh, well, I just missed one workout this week, so screw it. I'm going to just not go to the gym the rest of the week. I'll just start over next week. Do you see how that pattern is not going to be effective for you? Last thing I want you to start doing is reframe success. Actually, write out your new version of success. I think this is something that is really important, is taking time to journal and reflect. So much of the time we don't do that. We're running a million miles a minute. Our to-do list is crazy. So we don't really actually question this. But I want you to sit there and stop asking, how small can I get? And start asking yourself, how strong, how confident, how free can I feel? Because when you start making that shift, that is when your body is going to actually transform. I promise. It's going to feel so much better. You're going to feel so much better when you get to that body that you're looking for, instead of, forcing yourself to show up to the gym when you're tired, punishing yourself. Even if you did get the body you're looking for that way, you are going to feel like shit and your body image is not going to be aligned. You're not failing because you're not trying hard enough. You feel like you're failing in the gym right now because the rules you have been given were broken to begin with. So you're following something that is never meant to work long term. And you shouldn't feel bad for doing that. So many people out there do this. I did this for so long. And that's why I want to share this with you. You need to try less. Sometimes less is more. A lot of times less is more. In this episode, less is more. When you stop fighting your body and start working with it, that's when everything is going to shift. Healing does not mean giving up results. It means finally creating results that are going to actually last. And that's what you want. That's why you listen to this episode, right? That's why you're here. I want you to imagine this. I want you to literally close your eyes for a second and think this as we close out this episode, that you walk into the gym and you know exactly what to do. You end up leaving feeling powerful, not drained. You actually look forward to your rest days because you trust they're part of the process. And when you look in the mirror, the body you see finally reflects the work that you've been putting in. That's really honestly what's possible when you train smarter, not harder. Again, I know that that phrase has been so overused, but really, if you want that vision that you just shut your eyes, you pictured that's what we need to do, is train smarter and not harder. And if you're listening to this episode and you're thinking, okay, I get it, Gena, but I really need someone to actually help me make these shifts. That's exactly what I do with my one-on-one coaching clients in my program, Fit Without Obsession. In Fit Without Obsession, we build your dream body without the obsession. Again, keyword there, you're going to love what you're doing. It's not going to feel overwhelming. I'm going to teach you how to fuel your workouts, train with a plan that actually works, and heal your relationship with food alongside that and with your body along the way. And you don't have to keep guessing or grinding going through this alone. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in really finding yourself in the gym in a way that feels good, in a way that lifts you up, inspires you, and also feel better about food in your body at the same time, you can apply for coaching through the link in the show notes. And I'm going to help you build the results that you've been working for without that obsession. You got this. You don't need to show up 5 more times to the gym this week. Take a breath, take a pause, maybe go 1 or 2 more times and actually train with intention. And that's going to get you closer and closer to those results that you have been searching for. Thank you so much for tuning into the Fit Without Obsession podcast. If this episode helped you heal, grow, or just feel a little less alone, go ahead and hit the follow button so that you never miss a moment of this journey. And if you loved it, share it on your stories and tag me at @thefitbean_. I seriously love seeing what resonates. Sharing this podcast helps more women step out of a session and into their power. And that ripple effect starts with you. And if you're ready for deeper support, check the show notes for ways that we can work together. Just remember, eat the pasta, wear the shorts, and love the hell out of your life. You deserve it always. Talk soon.